This upload right here, I want to tell y'all a story, and I call this the true ancestor transmission and crossover. So you want to get your drink, your coffee, your tea. You want to roll up a clip real quick, some herbs, maybe some bilberry, some mugwort, or some can't remember the name of the uh, anyway, whatever the other herb is. If you want to roll some of that up to get your mind ready, you know what I'm saying, so you can vibe with this story, do what you got to do. Information to support will always be in the description. But if you take something from it, you know what I'm saying, and you feel the urge in your heart, please support. It will be very appreciative. And I will keep you in the prayers and in the value. You already know the vibes. Like I said before in the other one, if you want me to shout you out after you leave a donation or whatever, just put the information, put that's what you want in the comment section when you send your donation, or put it in the comment, whatever have you. And if you also want me to build on a particular topic, you know what I'm saying, email me. Information is always in the description. If you want to have a one-on-one consultation, you know what I'm saying, about some things you want to work out, you know what I mean, you shoot me a Cash App. First, set it up in the email, shoot me a Cash App, and we can get that going too. You already know the vibes. All right, so I'm going to tell you about when my grandfather passed away. First, I'm going to tell you how our connection was. I always speak about my grandfather, but I never actually spoke fully about what happened when he passed away or whatever. I just tell little pieces of shit, you know what I'm saying? Because every little piece inside of a story has a message to it. And this is why I actually created the incremental science. So incremental science is still available. It's on my Patreon. It's down within the 1,200, 1,300 videos I got, but you're going to have to go search for it. Or you could just go to Patreon and, put a little $7 in there and you can watch them all. You know what I'm saying? Back to back, you can binge watch. And it's free art over there. You can get, if you into like portraits and stuff, you want something to hang up in your house to represent what NAGA did, it's free art in there. You can go get, download, blow it up, put it in a frame, stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So that's on Patreon too. And plus I got other stories on there that I created. You know what I'm saying? Like initial stories I need to put more work in, but as y'all can see, I'm not really in that position to where I can work on certain things the way I want to. This is why I'm trying to build up. So yeah, you can go to Patreon and check that out. The information is always in the description. I believe the Patreon link is in the description. If it's not, let me know. You know what I'm saying? And I'll put it back in there or whatever. All right, so me and my grandfather, like I always say, we was kind of close in a certain way. Like, and it was only because I showed a natural fear towards the fact that I knew that was my grandfather in some aspect, right? Or a family member, a close sibling. You know what I'm saying? Like, and plus, when he beat you, that shit hurt. That shit hurt for real, for real. Like, but like I said, he was the type of person that left a strong impression on me or whatever. And there was this one picture, right, that my great grandmother, his mother, had in her house, and it was him dressed like he had this hat on, this suit or whatever. When I seen the picture, I'm like, why is it a picture of me in here in black and white? I don't remember taking this picture. And I took the picture to my great grandmother. I was like, that's me right there. How you got this picture? She's like, that's not you. That's your grandfather. We looked identical at a certain age in our lives. You know what I'm saying? Like identical to a T. It fooled me that wasn't me. You know what I'm saying? Like you couldn't tell me that wasn't me in that picture. So it's like ever since I seen that picture, I was hooked. I just wanted to stay around my grandfather. So when he came through, I was always happy. Like, oh, there go my grandfather. You know what I'm saying? Because to me, you know what I mean, that was like a true connection. And I always value connection in my family. That was like a strong point for me. Something about my essence of existence in itself valued the connection of family. I valued how I was connected to certain parts of my family. And the only way that value would get broken is unless the family or the individual I had that connection for or that love for would treat that different later. Like if they was fronting and then it came out that that's not how you really are, and I seen, I'm not gonna fuck with you like that. You know what I'm saying? Like that's where my strength came from. So people would love the fact that I would love so heavy. You know what I'm saying? And they took that love as I was weak. But then when they did something different and I saw that they was different and I stood on what you did, that's what my grandfather taught me. So when I would stand on the action that you are now leading as, and my strength and fury was stronger than what you was trying to put out to match the energy that you was doing, it would make them see me as I was disrespectful because I wouldn't take that shit. They didn't feel like they had to be apologetic in the way of how they would raise you or be around you in a certain way. So they would stand on their negative shit like I could treat you how, no, you can't, not me. Fuck you. And that shit was hard coming off of me. It was like, yo, who this nigga think he is? I'm the nigga that's going to show you that shit is real. And that's what my grandfather taught me. My grandfather used to always tell me, he used to be like, yo, he wouldn't say, yo, but he'd be like, listen, start them out with 100 points. They start acting different, you take that back. And you stand on how they treat you. And that shit would mess with me in my head because sometimes I would falter on that while I was learning how to do that. So I would allow people to take back some of that 100 from me, and then they would be acting. I still be acting 100 with them, but they already decreased like 75%. You know what I'm saying? So I would let that 75% play out, and I'd be like, damn, I didn't like that feeling, me allowing this shit to happen. So I would start standing as I got used to understanding what that was going through life. I would start standing on these actions because that's something my grandfather instilled in me. And then time would go by, all the little lessons he would teach me, time would go by, and I would find myself being tested in these lessons as I go through life. No matter where I was, I would always find myself being tested in these lessons that my elders was giving me, whether it was my nana, whether it was my grandfather, my grandmother, somebody of value would say something to me, and I would have to go through something in life that had me tested to that understanding. It was like I was being instilled universal scripts, you know what I'm saying, that said this body is able to stand up to this particular energy. It was like the strongest things they learned. I would have to carry that character, right, without going through the experience that they went through to learn that. So that was going to be solidified, and I didn't know it was going to be solidified. My grandfather passed away. I remember I was in New York, and I took a train. I take a train or a bus. I think I took a bus because I got picked up from the bus station, I think. And straight from the bus station, I went to the hospital. You know what I'm saying? And everybody was in there already. All family members was in there. His sisters, other people. My mother was there. Other people was there. Everybody was in the room. And as he's sitting in the bed, he couldn't talk because whatever he's going through, you know what I'm saying, it shut down his motor skills or whatever. So he couldn't talk. He just laying in the bed like this. He had lost so much weight. And when I walked in, I remember I had the black leather trench on. You know what I'm saying? I had all black on. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm the Reaper and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like shit was funny. Like that's how I thought. I'm like, damn, I'm the only one got on all black and shit. But I don't know. I always wear black. You know what I'm saying? For the most part. Something dark colored. You know what I'm saying? I absorb light. You know what I'm saying? So it's just always been a thing of mine. Blue and black. So I go in there. He see me, right? He just smiled. Like he relaxed when he saw me. Like he saw me and was like, oh, finally, this nigga finally come through. Like, and I was like, yo, what's up? You know what I'm saying? Like I could see he was happy to see me. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I was fresh looking, like I was young. It was like I looked like him, at a certain point in his life, and he was just so happy to see me. He's like, nigga, he had that, you look just like me face. You know what I'm saying? He's like, look at me face. You know what I'm saying? And the way I was standing, I was tall, I was strong, came through. You know what I'm saying? That's what I felt. He was like projecting. He was projecting off of the bed. He saw me. He was just happy, and all these thoughts was coming in. He was just like, and he was looking at me fast, like he was downloading me or some shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I felt that energy when I walked through the door, and the side of the bed was right there when you walk through the door. So I slid right there real quick. Cause they was like the room was in the shape of an L too. Never forget that the room was in the shape of an L. Where his bed was the one side, and then it went to the left, which made it the L. You know what I'm saying? Like straight Elohim. I'm sitting there like I ain't even vibed that until just now, but they was on the end of it, making all these waves. I never forget it. So I go over to the side of the bed where he at, and he grabbed my arm. And when he grabbed my arm, I felt like electricity going in my arm, but it was like not shocking me to hurt me. It was like a charge. Like I could literally feel energy coming off him. You know what I'm saying? Like he was putting his life energy into me. And I knew when he died, he came into me. I don't know why I knew that. I just knew it's like him and some other of my ancestors that passed away, they chilling inside me. I just knew that. You know what I'm saying? Like other ones got inside me another way because I kept the doors open. You know, you keep the light on. You know what I'm saying? Like I kept the doors open so they came later. But he came in by grabbing my arm. And it was crazy because when he grabbed my arm, the first thing that happened was he was telling me in my mind that he wanted everybody out the room. And I was like, yo, he wants y'all out the room. And he just nodded his head like this. He said, y'all too loud. He wanted everybody out the room. And it was like, they looked at me and they just moved. Everybody that was on the other part of the L just moved out the door. Like they I guess they vibed it and felt it. There was no question. There was no, why? And I was like, yo, that's what he want. You know what I'm saying? And they just all filed out the room, and it was just me and him in there. You know what I'm saying? I never forget this. And then he was holding my arm, and it was like he was coming into me. Like his energy was coming into me. And when he let me go, he passed. Like right after I walked out the room, he died. And I never forget that. And it was crazy because that night I had a dream. And I'm laying there like I slept heavy. And I had a dream. And the dream was real. It was like I left Earth. And I'm flying way above Earth. And I get to this place where it's like these woods. And it's like a few trees or whatever. And I could see the sun way off in the distance. This shit was like super vibrant gold, like a different type of gold. And I'm walking through these little hardwood trees or whatever. These particular type of trees that had I remember all that. I just don't want to really get into depth of it because I guess it's significant for a reason for me to remember that for a reason. So I remember that. But I walk through the trees and I get to like this ladder, and this ladder like goes down, and it goes down like you got to climb down probably like 12 steps or whatever, and you get to this dock. And he's sitting in this boat, this old wooden boat on the dock, you know what I'm saying, at the bottom of the ladder. So I get down, I walk over to the dock or whatever. He's sitting on this boat. He young, he fresh. He looked like almost a little older than the kid in the picture that we looked identical. Like he's a little older, but he got on this type of suit that's similar. And he's smiling, he chilling. He like, man, I'm good. Like he like, yo, come get on the boat with me. He ain't talking, but he like signaling with his hand. Like, so I got on the boat with him. And the water was like going around this tree, right? The water was circling around this tree like this. You know what I'm saying? And it was this type of tree. You know what I mean? Like, I ain't gonna explain the tree, but it was a type of tree. You know what I'm saying? And that was just a little river going around that. So he be in the boat and we looking down at the earth. And he telling me to look down through the water at the earth. He ain't saying that, he just pointing. So I look down at the earth. And when I look down at the earth, and mind you, this is over 20 years ago. This is before the internet started popping the way it's popping. Like, it was just getting started. You know what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't really because I was like 19 at the time, something. I'm 44 now. You know what I'm saying? So this was a minute ago, like 25 years ago. You know what I mean? And it's before anything really was like exclusive how it is on the internet. But when I looked through the water, the world had screens, had these little flat screens all around the world, and you seen uh Biden face, you seen, you know what I'm saying, like the wars, all the crazy stuff. You seen every crazy thing that's happening on the screen. And it's just going around the world. And it was telling me, look at that. And I was like, yo, I don't want to go back down there. He was like, you got to, though. You got to. And I was like, I don't want to go back down there. I was like, I don't want to deal with all that shit. You know what I'm saying? It was like, yo, but you got to. I was like, I want to stay up here with you. It was crazy. And he was just smiling at me. He's riding around the boat or whatever. And I remember waking up, like he sent me back. And every so often after that, I was able to go check on him. I was able to go up there. I went up there a couple times. He wasn't in the boat. I could just go there by myself. He wasn't there. You know what I'm saying? Like, and sometimes he'd be there. You know what I mean? And he was different looking, like he was on different energy. Like, it was almost like, stop coming over here because I got to get dressed to come over here. You know what I'm saying? Let me stay in the where I got to go. Stop coming. Like, it was that energy. Like, yo, stop coming up here all the time for. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, you know what I'm saying? Like, but I felt it. So I stopped going. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was a realization about something. You know what I mean? It was deeper understanding I still don't got clarity on in the flesh, but I know my higher self comprehends. You know what I mean? So, but I knew that was him transitioning to be in a better place. And that was like a light point. That was like a point for us to have a feeling exchange. And within that place, I understood a lot of things. You know what I'm saying? I understand the connection value to certain things. So it was like getting me prepared for shit that was going to happen regardless. So ultimately, when I came back, I had already knew a lot of things that was going to happen. I knew shit was going to happen like this when I was 19, when I was 18, when I was 17. Like, I had already seen it. I had seen 20 years in advance, 25 years in advance. You know what I mean? But we ain't had social media to do all this right here. But this is a real thing that happened. And I would speak these things to people, telling them, yo, this going to happen, this going to happen. And my would be like, yo, how you know this shit? Or it was like, yo, that shit sound crazy. And for the most part, I bet you everybody I've told something going to happen, they don't remember that I told them that the things we going through, I told them that was going to happen. They don't remember that shit. You know what I'm saying? Or if they remember, they don't want to say that they know I told them that everything that's happening now was going to happen. You know what I'm saying? So that was a part tied to me being connected to my ancestors. And not for nothing, like, I've been building with my ancestors. They always give me a vibe, a push. You know what I'm saying? Depending on how we was connected, that's how I feel them. I feel them and they forced by the energy that they left with me. So that's the only thing they got to do is move in that way, and you know that's them because it's the familiar energy. Nothing can be what you are. You always going to be what you are. So your signature is how you connect it. You know what I'm saying? It's a signature on each and every person. You know what I'm saying? So that signature always going to exist regardless. You know what I mean? So it's how you going to feel individuals. You know what I mean? Like, that's how you're supposed to know who around. So with that being said, you know what I mean? Like, that was me completely understanding how a person that's here becomes an ancestor and what they're able to do and how they connect to you as far as strengthening you and the values for you to stay connected to them when they pass on and what that really means. You know what I'm saying? So they always getting you ready for a certain thing. So when y'all out here today and y'all with y'all family members and y'all notice that certain family members is showing y'all love in a different way and they showing you love, they giving you certain pieces of knowledge that's true knowledge. They're not leading you wrong. They don't got you out here effed up. They don't talk to you in certain ways. Like, they really show a level of unconditional love that you don't get from nobody else. Take heed to the energy they're giving you because they're setting you up to be stronger for what's going to happen when they cross over. And you're going to need that energy. You're going to need that knowledge that they learn. So be mindful of these things so you can have that true understanding of what it feels like when ancestors cross over, because divine is allowing this. This is your light points through your history, manifesting, bringing back everything that's meant for me, my infantry. You don't even know who on my spirit team. I keep it lean. Move through the air like the smoking hit. Pick it out, let it go. Black fist in the afro. You know what I'm saying? Real rap. So, look, I ain't gonna even hold y'all. You already know the vibes. NAGA.